Welcome back to another energy update with Priestess Alo and the Infinite Guidance. It is a pleasure to be here today. What I've noticed is lately I've really been enjoying doing this. Whereas, like, I used to get really nervous with sharing what I know. The more that I've been doing it, the more I've been leaning into it and getting better at it. And I feel so much better being able to share. Your confidence really matters in your creativity. So it's important to really pour into what you're doing and to continuously do it over and over again, because the more you do something, the more comfortable you get. So today's energy update, we are going to be touching on Mercury retrograde in Cancer. Now, first, I want to go over something very important. A lot of people view spirituality and religion as separate things. Spirituality is my religion. There's no separation for me. This is the thing. Your religion is what you do religiously. If you choose to go to a church religiously, that's your religion. If you choose to overeat religiously, food is your religion. You have to know that you have to know that religion is tied to that base word, religious. It isn't about necessarily a title. It's about the action behind the word, the intention behind the action. So there's no separation. Religion, spirituality, I am religiously spiritual. And that's how I live my life. And I'm comfortable with that. And there's people that will naturally gravitate towards my information and what I have to offer the world, because there's people that don't necessarily feel comfortable going to the building called the church. They want to convene with the church, and that's okay as well. So when it comes to astrology, astronomy, the knowledge, the information, I teach that because we don't worship two gods. The information and the knowledge is like telling time. So when I'm on here, I want you to see it as this is your daily news update. I'm giving you a heads up of what to look forward to. When we, like the oracles and the astrologers and the energy readers, when we're speaking in time, we are giving you the updates of what to look forward to and what's coming ahead. So it's very important that you pay attention to this stuff, because we're not just talking for our own good. We're giving you heads up. We're giving you a good GPS. We're giving you warnings. We're having you take heed to what is headed towards you or what you might be headed past. Because it's one thing to not know, but it's another thing to know and not do anything about it. So we have Mercury retrograde in Cancer, which is very interesting because we're in Cancer season. So not only are we in Cancer season, Mercury is in Cancer as well, but it's in retrograde in Cancer. So retrograde in astrology, it's looked at as the planet going backwards. In reality, it is not traveling backwards. It's as if a car has slowed down and you're traveling at light speed. So it looks like that car is in your rear view. But what you actually need to be doing when it's retrograde is you need to slow down so you can catch up. That makes sense, right? You're slowing down so you can catch up. So this is why we're revisiting. This is why we're rethinking. This is why we're recalculating, because we are retracing our steps to see, where did I leave it at? And if I left it, where do I pick it up and how? Like, that's the smartest thing to do, right? So I have my notes so I don't get to I don't want to get to like going off on the tangents. So right now we are experiencing an exact 180-degree separation from the sun and the moon, which creates an opposition, right? So we're having a full moon in Capricorn and we have the sun in Cancer. Capricorn and Cancer are sister signs because they're opposites. Opposites mirror each other just in different ways. It's basically same word, different font. You know what I'm saying? Same person, different font. Similar to Leo and Aquarius, similar to Scorpio and Taurus. But we are on the Cancer Capricorn axis, the mother and the father. Cancer is the mother, Capricorn is the father. So with the full moon being in Capricorn, the father, it's asking you to look at what have you been carrying. Let's reassess. Let's take a step back. What is it that you've been carrying that is too heavy of a load that you need to let go of? Full moons mean that everything is full, like everything's in fruition. What is it that you've gathered and you need to hang on to? And what is it that you've gathered that you can pretty much let go of because either you got the point, you got the message, or you no longer need to be attached to it? And that's why we go into our smoke purification rituals, our prayer closets, our prayer rituals, writing down the things that we want to let go of, burning the paper with it on there so we can release. A smoke purification ritual is for release, right? Because once we write it down and we burn it, we're letting it go. When you burn something, you're letting it go. Remember Angela Bassett in I almost said remember Angela Bassett in Waiting to Excel? When she let go, she burnt that car up. So that's why we burn things to the ground, because we're done with them and we're releasing them, right? So yes, we're at a 180, which is an opposition. What can you let go of versus what is it that you love that's staring you in the face? And you can let go of the lesson of the love that you've received. You might want to keep the person and you might want to let go of the lesson. It's up to you. Essentially, you have to figure out what works for you. Everyone is going through different things at different times. But like I said, Mercury retrograde, it's that car moving past, but it's asking you to slow down to catch up, if that makes sense, right? Okay, so basically, we're checking the connection between each other. This is a temperature check. Cancer season is always so heartfelt. Even though it's hot as hell outside, it's still a really heartfelt time. Like, I get in my feels in Cancer season. I love all the love music. I walked in Walgreens earlier, they were playing love music. I love the communication and the hot sun and the movies and just, calling it a night early because it's so hot. You got to turn all the lights off in the house. It's Cancer season is a good, fun season. So it's a good cultivating season, especially for your creativity. But you want to make sure you're doing things from the heart. Moms do things from the heart. Cancer is the mom. And it's funny because Cancer actually is a luminary like Leo. Leo and Cancer are the only ones that are luminaries, sun and moon. But right now we're in a Cancer sun and we have a Capricorn moon. So it's a very interesting situation. Um, for me personally, I'm just really telling myself to double check your contracts, double check your communication, double check your creative endeavors. Because I have a tendency, my Mars is in Aries, Mars is the planet of action. My tendency is to just straight shoot. I don't always think, check, double check. So retrograde for me has been a time where I'm like, okay, I'm going to double check to make sure that what I'm talking about, what I'm doing, where I'm going, how I'm perceiving, what I'm presenting, is this all correct? I just released a book. Go get my book, The Trauma of Being a Baby Mama. It's a wonderful read. But I still had to go back and rethink and recheck and redo things in the process because I'm self-made. God willing, with the hand of God. But all of my creative endeavors, I do on my own. I don't give over the rights to my stuff. So it's very important for me that I check the fine print and the wording of the contracts and the things that I'm looking into and that I'm signing. So don't forget to read between the lines. Um, Basically, when it comes to connection, Mercury retrograde, we're rechecking our connections. Are we going this way or are we going that way? Are we staying the same or are we moving forward? That's all it is. Either we're going to continue the way things have been or we're going to make some changes in this room and we're going to proceed together. Because if not, then we can just stay separate and we can go our separate ways. And it can be hard, when you're thinking about connections and it's heartfelt and you really care about the person. But a lot of times you do have to do what's best for you, especially when you're rechecking things. So if you do end up in that forward motion and then you slow down so everything can catch up and you realize, yeah, I'm good, keep going on your way. I'm not telling you to go back to your ex. I'm telling you to rethink, recheck, and reconvene to make sure that what you're doing in communicating, because communication is not always just in verbal. Sometimes, most of the time, communication is in action. Are the things that you are acting on, are your actions coming from the heart? We are in Cancer season. Mercury in retrograde is in Cancer. We are in Cancer season. You want to make sure that you are communicating from the heart and that you are acting from the heart. Follow your heart. That's the thing. Follow your heart. And don't forget that. Now, this full moon in Capricorn is known as a strawberry moon. Now, that's known as a strawberry moon because in, indigenous times, in native times, they picked their harvest, specifically strawberries. They were very ripe during the season, which is why it's called a strawberry moon. So go get you some strawberries, enjoy them, cultivate. Put a little fondue chocolate on there. Let me know how it goes. I might get me some do. But yeah, make sure you go over your contracts, your conversations, and your communication. Double check everything, especially travel plans. Last minute travel plans never go well. I might end up having to do something of that nature for someone else. But when you have to do that, the slowest route is the best route. So whatever is going to take a while is the best way to get there, because when you try to rush during retrograde, you're asking for a disaster. It's better to just, take the turtle way because, the turtle does win the race. I think people forget that. The turtle wins the race. Okay, moving on along. Remember, nothing is casual or nothing is casual or coincidental. Everything is cosmic this Cancer season. Everything is cosmic. Don't forget that. Allow yourself to feel what you try to cover up and cry. Release. Cry. Cry, let it out. Like, you have no reason to hide your feelings from anyone. And even if you have to go in a corner, or if you have to like literally put the cover over your head, this is the season and the time to cry. Like, I might go watch Still Magnolias because I want to cry, and that is a sure shot to make me cry when I watch Still Magnolias. Consider the impossible and be considerate. We have enough people in this world that do not care. If you have that in you to be a considerate person and to really exalt consideration for one another and other people, highlight that attribute of yourself. There's so many people walking this planet that don't give a about other people. If you are naturally considerate, don't let the inconsiderate change your heart. We need more people that care. Capricorn is financial. Going back to the moon. Capricorn is stability. Capricorn is material, creative, right? Sade is a Capricorn. Aaliyah was a Capricorn. And Marie is a Capricorn. 3 Capricorn women that I absolutely love. Creativity, but very vogue, very modest, but still statuesque. Like, even though it's modest, you still can't miss it. So when it comes to your creativity, don't be afraid to take chances and release the worry of the chances that you're taking, because it's your creativity and you want to live in that. Be free. That's what creativity is for. What are you carrying that's too much? Whether it be your finances, whether it be your creative endeavors, whether it be your relationships, what is it that you're carrying is too much? And those are the things that you need to reassess right now based on the theme of full moon in Capricorn, sun in Cancer, Mercury retrograde in Cancer. Now, next tip, combine and calculate. Combine and calculate to condense. For Mercury retrograde in Cancer that supports the full moon in Capricorn. Combine, calculate to condense. Got that? I think you got it. The things I've been feeling personally are emotional maturity. I've been feeling this thing of like, just get it done. You can go home and you can wrap yourself up in a muumuu and a blanket and turn your air on 60 and cry in front of the TV when it's calculated. But right now, just get it done. Focus on your creativity. Focus on your returns. Focus on the things that are going to bring you something back when it's time to harvest our next new moon cycle. Make space. Like, don't be afraid to make space. That's the important thing. Don't be afraid to make space. You're going to balance your feelings and your responsibility. Balance your energy and your emotion. Emotion is energy in motion. You got that? Balance. We're talking about balance because we're on this Capricorn and Cancer axis. This is stability and feels, emotion, stability, material versus feels and emotion. Make sure it feels good, but make sure it's there. Make sure you're not floating in the air. And the last thing I want to make note of is, how are you speaking on what you're representing? Are you speaking from the heart? And I think I said this a little bit earlier, but really dig deep into yourself and say, am I holding up a facade? Am I communicating clearly and concisely during this Mercury retrograde in Cancer, or am I communicating from a false sense of reality? Am I still living in the ego? Because the heart is directly connected to the mind. And if you separate the two, that's when you allow poison to come in. And you do not want the poison of the enemy to come into your mind. So make sure you are communicating straight from the heart, because we are experiencing. We were so deep in our conversation before my phone so rudely died. Excuse me. But just to close out, since we are in retrograde season, the verse, since we're in retrograde season, the scripture that I want to leave with you is Psalms 46:10. Be still and know that I am God, for good things come to those that wait. Thank you for tuning in with us today. Go in peace. Ashe.